I heard the wine glass break before I heard my mother say it. The sound was sharp, clean, like everything else in that upscale Italian restaurant my brother Daniel had chosen for Mom's birthday dinner. But what came after the shatter was worse. My mother's voice, loud enough for the entire dining room to hear, bright and unbothered, "Your kids can eat when they get home." She was smiling when she said it. Smiling as she slid 2 crumpled napkins across the white tablecloth toward my daughters, Emma and Lily, ages 8 and 10. Smiling as my brother's son, 13-year-old Tyler, unwrapped his $75 lobster ravioli with truffle cream. His little sister got the same. Daniel's wife, Monica, actually laughed. She picked up her wine, took a sip, and said, "Should have fed them first, Audrey." I just whispered, "Copy that." I don't know why I said it. Maybe because I'd spent 36 years learning to shrink myself in rooms where my brother took up all the oxygen. Maybe because some part of me still thought if I stayed quiet enough, small enough, grateful enough, my mother would finally see me. But when the waiter came back to take dessert orders and Mom ordered 2 slices of tiramisu for Daniel's kids, another $40, I stood up. I didn't say a word. I just stood up, took my daughter's hands, and walked out of that restaurant. Behind me, I heard my mother call out, "Audrey, don't be dramatic." That was 3 months ago. And I haven't spoken to her since. If this hits home, tell me where you're watching from. Because what happened next changed everything. Let me take you back so you understand how deep this runs. I grew up in Portland, Oregon, in a house where my brother Daniel could do no wrong. He was the firstborn, the son, the one who'd carry on the family name, never mind that our last name was Miller and there were about 10,000 of us in the phone book. None of that mattered. Daniel mattered. When he got a B in algebra, Mom hired him a tutor. When I got a B in anything, she told me to study harder. When he wanted to go to art school in California, they remortgaged the house to pay for it. When I got accepted to nursing school, full scholarship, my mother said, "Well, at least you'll always have work." I became a nurse. A good one. I worked labor and delivery at Oregon Health and Science University for 12 years before I went back for my nurse practitioner license. I bought my own house. Raised my daughters after their father left when Lily was 2. I did it alone, and I did it quietly, because that's what women like me do. We don't ask for help. We don't make noise. Daniel became a graphic designer. He's talented, I'll give him that. But he's also never held a job longer than 18 months. He freelances, which is a nice way of saying Mom still pays half his rent in Seattle. She bought him a car 3 years ago. She pays for his kids' private school. And here's the thing, I never said a word about it. Not one word. Because I told myself it wasn't about the money. I told myself Mom loved us the same, just differently. I was wrong. The invitation came 6 weeks before her birthday. A group text from Daniel. "Hey sis. Mom's turning 65. Let's do something special. I'm thinking Bella Notte in downtown Portland. Saturday, June 10th, 7 p.m. My treat." I should have known right then. Daniel's treat meant Mom's credit card, but I let it go. I replied with a thumbs-up emoji and told the girls to pick out something nice to wear. Emma was so excited she made Mom a birthday card with glitter and foam stickers. Lily wrote her a poem. The day before the dinner, I called my mother to confirm. She sounded distracted, distant. "Oh, yes, Audrey. 7 o'clock. Don't be late." "Should I bring anything?" I asked. Flowers? Wine. Daniel's handling everything, she said. Then, almost as an afterthought, you're bringing the girls, I assume? Of course, I said. They wouldn't miss it. There was a pause. A long one. Then she said, well, just make sure they're on their best behavior. I should have heard it then. The warning. But I didn't. We arrived at Bella Notte 5 minutes early. The restaurant was beautiful, exposed brick, candlelight, the kind of place where they fold your napkin for you when you use the restroom. I'd been there once before, years ago, for a work event. It wasn't cheap. Daniel and Monica were already seated. So was Mom. They'd taken a corner booth, the best spot in the house, with a view of the river through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Tyler and his little sister, Mia, were next to them, playing on their phones. When we walked up, Daniel stood and hugged me. There she is. Hey, girls. He high-fived Emma and Lily, then gestured to the table. We saved you guys seats. The seats were at the far end. 2 chairs, pushed up against the wall, away from the booth. Away from the windows. Away from Mom. Here? I asked, smiling, thinking maybe I'd misunderstood. Yeah, Monica said brightly. We figured the girls could sit together. You know, keep each other entertained. My daughters looked at me. I could see the confusion in their faces. Lily had her poem folded in her pocket. Emma was holding the glitter card. Okay, I said. Sure. We sat down. I ordered water for the girls and an iced tea for myself. Daniel ordered a bottle of wine for the table, $120 Pinot Noir. Mom didn't even glance at the price. Tap like so this story reaches someone who needs it. Because it only gets worse from here. When the waiter brought the menus, Mom leaned over to Daniel's kids and started reading off options. Tyler, they have that pasta you love. The one with the lobster. Mia, do you want the chicken? Or the salmon? She didn't ask my daughters anything. I opened the kids' menu in front of Emma and Lily. Grilled cheese. Chicken tenders. Mac and cheese. $12 to $15 each. Not terrible. I was calculating in my head, 2 meals, a tip, maybe $40 total. I could cover it. But then Daniel waved the waiter back over. We'll do the lobster ravioli for Tyler. The salmon for Mia. And can you start them with the burrata appetizer? The waiter nodded and wrote it down. He looked at me. And for the young ladies? I opened my mouth to order, but my mother cut me off. Oh, they're fine, she said. They'll eat when they get home. I froze. The waiter froze. Daniel looked uncomfortable for half a second, then looked away. Monica sipped her wine. Mom, I said quietly. They haven't eaten since lunch. They'll survive, she said, and then she turned to the waiter. I'll have the filet mignon, medium rare. I looked at my daughters. Emma's face was bright red. Lily was staring at the table. And that's when my mother slid 2 paper napkins across the white tablecloth toward them. Your kids can eat when they get home, she said. Like it was a joke. Like it was funny. That's when Monica laughed. That's when I whispered, copy that. I didn't cry. Not in the restaurant. Not in front of them. I waited until we were in the car, buckled in, pulling out of the parking lot. Then I let the tears come. Emma was sobbing in the back seat. Lily was silent, which was somehow worse. Mom, Lily said finally. Why does Grandma hate us? She doesn't hate you, I said automatically. But I didn't believe it. And Lily didn't either. We stopped at a McDonald's on the way home. I ordered Happy Meals and watched my daughters eat chicken nuggets in the plastic booth under fluorescent lights. Emma wouldn't look at me. Lily asked if we ever had to see Grandma again. I didn't have an answer. That night, after I put them to bed, I sat on my couch and stared at my phone. I had 17 texts. 12 from my mother. Why are you being so dramatic? You embarrassed me. Call me. This is ridiculous. 3 from Daniel. Come on, sis. She didn't mean it like that. You're overreacting. 2 from Monica. The girls are fine. Stop being so sensitive. I blocked all of them. Comment if you've ever felt this kind of betrayal. Because I need you to know, you're not alone. And you're not crazy. For 2 weeks, I ignored every call, every text, every voicemail. I went to work. I made breakfast, packed lunches, helped with homework. I smiled at my patients and held their hands during labor and told them they were doing great. But inside, I was building something. I started going through old records. Bank statements. Loans. I pulled my credit report. I dug out tax returns from 5 years ago, back when my mother had asked me to co-sign a loan for Daniel's business venture, a graphic design studio that folded in 8 months. She'd promised to pay it back. She never did. The loan was still on my credit. $14,000, delinquent, dragging my score down year after year. I'd asked her about it twice. Both times, she told me she'd take care of it. She never did. I also found the paperwork from my grandmother's estate. My grandmother, my father's mother, had passed away 4 years ago. She'd left me a small inheritance. $15,000. It was supposed to go directly to me, but my mother had been the estate executor. She told me the estate was complicated and that I'd get my share eventually. I never got a dime. I called a lawyer. Her name was Jennifer Colton. She was a family law attorney in Portland, mid-40s, no nonsense, the kind of woman who wore blazers and didn't smile unless she meant it. I liked her immediately. I laid it all out. The co-signed loan. The inheritance. The years of financial favoritism. The restaurant incident was just the breaking point, I explained. The cruelty was the surface. The money was the foundation. Jennifer listened, took notes, and then looked at me over her reading glasses. Do you want your money back, she asked, or do you want to make a point? Both, I said. She smiled. Then let's get to work. It took 6 weeks. Jennifer subpoenaed the estate records. She found the inheritance, deposited into my mother's personal account, never disbursed. She pulled the loan documents, the payment history, the correspondence. She built a case so airtight that even my mother's lawyer, some guy Daniel knew from college, couldn't argue with it. Then Jennifer did something brilliant. She didn't just file a lawsuit. She sent a demand letter. Certified mail. With copies to Daniel, Monica, and my mother's financial planner. The letter outlined everything. The stolen inheritance. The unpaid loan. The damaged credit. And it gave my mother 30 days to pay it back in full, with interest, or face a lawsuit that would become public record. I didn't tell anyone. I just waited. Subscribe for more stories like this one. Because the fallout was glorious. The call came on day 12. It was 9 p.m. I was folding laundry in my living room, half watching a rerun of the Great British Bake Off, when my phone rang. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. But something told me to pick up. Audrey. My mother's voice. Tight. Furious. What the hell is this? Hi, Mom, I said calmly. I'm not sure what you're referring to. You know exactly what I'm referring to, she hissed. This letter. This threat. You're suing me? Your own mother? I'm not suing you yet, I said. I'm asking for what you owe me. There's a difference. I don't owe you anything. You owe me $15,000 from Grandma's estate. You owe me $14,000 from Daniel's loan. That's $29,000, plus 4 years of interest. My lawyer calculated it. It's in the letter. There was silence. Then, you can't do this. I can, I said. And I will. Unless you pay me back. This is about the restaurant, isn't it? Her voice cracked, like she was the victim. You're punishing me because you're petty and jealous of your brother. I took a breath. This is about you stealing from me. This is about you treating my daughters like they don't matter. This is about 36 years of pretending I don't exist unless you need something. I gave you everything, she screamed. You gave Daniel everything, I said quietly. You gave me leftovers. And I'm done. I hung up. She called back 6 times. I didn't answer. Daniel showed up at my house 3 days later. Unannounced. He knocked on the door at 7 a.m. on a Saturday. I answered in my bathrobe, coffee in hand, not remotely surprised. We need to talk, he said. No, we don't. Audrey, come on. This is insane. You're tearing the family apart. I laughed. Actually laughed. I'm tearing the family apart? Daniel, I've been invisible for 36 years. You're just noticing now because it's costing you something. It's costing Mom something, he corrected. She doesn't have that kind of money. She had it when she took it from me. He ran a hand through his hair. He looked tired. Good. Look, I'll pay you back. Okay? I'll figure it out. Just drop the lawsuit. You'll pay me back? I repeated. With what? Mom's credit card? His jaw tightened. That's not fair. Neither is watching your kids eat $75 pasta while mine get napkins. He didn't have an answer for that. He stood there on my porch, hands in his pockets, looking like a stranger. Finally, he said, she's our mom, Audrey. She's your mom, I said. She stopped being mine a long time ago. I closed the door. If you've ever had to choose yourself over family, you know how hard this is. Drop a comment and let me know I'm not alone in this. On day 28, Jennifer called me. They want to settle. My heart jumped. For how much? Full amount. $29,000 plus interest. $32,000 total. I sat down. Seriously? Seriously. They'll wire it by end of business tomorrow. In exchange, you sign a release and agree not to discuss the estate or loan publicly. And if I don't? Then we go to court. And we win. But it'll take 6 months, maybe a year. And it'll cost you in legal fees. I thought about it for 10 seconds. Take the deal. Smart, Jennifer said. I'll send the paperwork. The money hit my account 30 hours later. $32,000. I stared at the notification on my phone for 5 full minutes. Then I paid off my credit card. I put $10,000 into a college fund for each of my daughters. And I took the rest and booked a trip to Disneyland. Just the 3 of us. Emma, Lily, and me. We left 2 weeks later. I didn't hear from my mother for 6 weeks after the settlement. No calls. No texts. Nothing. Daniel sent one message, "I hope you're happy." I didn't respond. Monica unfriended me on Facebook. I didn't notice for 3 days. And honestly, I felt lighter. I felt free. My daughters started smiling again. Emma stopped asking why Grandma didn't like us. Lily wrote a new poem, this one about Disneyland, about how we rode Space Mountain 4 times and ate churros until we felt sick. We were okay. Better than okay. Then, in late August, my mother sent a single text, "Can we talk?" I didn't answer right away. I let it sit for 2 days. Then I wrote back, "I don't think that's a good idea right now." Her response came an hour later, "I'm sorry." 2 words. That's it. No explanation. No acknowledgement of what she'd done. Just "I'm sorry." I wrote back, "I know." And I left it at that. Here's what I learned: some people will never see you. No matter how hard you work, how much you sacrifice, how quiet and small and grateful you make yourself, some people will only ever see what they want to see. My mother wanted a son who needed her. So she kept Daniel dependent, kept him close, kept him funded. She didn't want a daughter who was strong and independent. That didn't fit her story. And for 36 years, I tried to fit. I bent and twisted and shrunk myself down, thinking that if I just tried hard enough, she'd finally see me. But she never did. And the truth is, she probably never will. And that's okay now. Because I see me. My daughters see me. And that's enough. I don't know if my mother and I will ever have a relationship again. Maybe someday. Maybe not. But I know this: I will never again sit at a table and watch my children be treated like they don't matter. I will never again swallow my voice to keep the peace. I will never again let someone steal from me my money, my dignity, my worth, and call it love. If this story hit you in the chest, do me a favor and subscribe. Share this with someone who needs to hear it. Let's build a community of people who know their worth and won't settle for less. It's been 3 months since that birthday dinner. 3 months since I walked out of Bella Notte with my daughter's hands in mine. 3 months since I decided I was done. And I'm not going to lie, it's been hard. There are days when I miss my mother. Not the version of her that handed my kids napkins while my nephews ate lobster. But the version I wanted her to be. The version I kept hoping she'd become. I grieve that version. I think I always will. But I don't regret what I did. Not for a second. Because my daughters are watching. They're learning what it means to stand up for yourself. They're learning that love doesn't mean letting people hurt you. They're learning that you can walk away from a table, even a family table, if you're not being fed. And that's a lesson worth $32,000. That's a lesson worth everything. So if you're out there, sitting at your own version of that table, watching people treat you like you don't matter, hear me when I say this: you matter. Your kids matter. Your voice matters. And you don't have to stay. You can stand up. You can walk out. You can take your dignity and your daughters and your self-respect, and you can build something better. It won't be easy. But I promise you, it'll be worth it. Thank you for listening to my story. If it meant something to you, let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Hit that like button. Subscribe. And remember, you are enough. Exactly as you are.